This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, to the Pike River families and New Zealand, we are returning. The words of Pike River Re-Entry Minister Andrew Little's message this morning. There's sweet news for the largest crowdfunding campaign in New Zealand's history. And a pair of overalls could have contributed to the helicopter triple fatality in Wanaka last month. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. To the Pike River families and New Zealand, we are returning. The words of Pike River Re-Entry Minister Andrew Little's message this morning. Standing with families of people killed in the 2010 mine disaster, Little announced re-entry to the Pike River mine drift will go ahead. Families of men killed at the Pike River mine wept as Pike River Re-Entry Minister Andrew Little told them and the nation of the government's plans.
Re-entry of the Pike River mine will proceed. To the Pike River families, to New Zealand, we are returning.
Not just for the Pike River families, but for New Zealand as a whole. I mean, this is what can happen if we stand up to the government and the powers that be and try and right the wrongs that have happened in the past.
Anna Osborne also says the decision is a victory for the little people of New Zealand. Andrew Little says there's a lot of work to be done. He's carefully considered the advice of the Pike River Recovery Agency and has decided to proceed with one of three options presented for re-entry to the drift. The government has approved additional funding of $14 million, bringing the total budget for the plan to $36 million. Planned protests by primary school teachers are set to be held around Otago and Southland tomorrow. More than 1,000 demonstrators are expected to gather in Dunedin's Octagon after considering the latest offer from the Ministry of Education. Meetings to consider the ministry's nearly $700 million package are also scheduled to be held in 8 southern towns and cities as part of a week-long rolling strike. The ministry says the latest offer entails a pay rise of up to $11,000 for most teachers within the next 2 years, as well as a one-off payment of $500. There's sweet news for the largest crowdfunding campaign in New Zealand's history. It's been a year since it took less than 2 days for Dunedin's Ocho Chocolate to raise $2 million through crowdfunding platform Pledge Me. Today the dream became a reality.
The production line up and running at Ocho Chocolate in Dunedin. Equipment sourced from Italy's been moved into their new building, marking yet another milestone for the company.
Today is exactly 1 year since we raised $2 million in crowdfunding, and it's also the day when we lifted the last of our equipment into the building.
The success of the Pledge Me campaign has created high expectations for the chocolate maker. It took less than 2 days to secure the funding from 3,500 investors nationwide. They've been able to completely refurbish the whole building, including a viewing area.
We really want to demystify the whole chocolate making process and be transparent about what we do, how we do it, what we put into our chocolate, and show people where the chocolate comes from and how it ends up being a chocolate bar.
The crowdfunding campaign came after food giant Mondelez confirmed it was closing Dunedin's Cadbury factory with the loss of 350 jobs. Rose says people were enthusiastic about investing and to keep chocolate making in Dunedin, but they're not aiming to compete with the big companies, instead staying true to their origins as a maker of craft chocolate.
We don't really aim to make the same tasting chocolate the whole time. It's a bit like wine vintages. If the chocolate tastes a little bit different from batch to batch, that's fine.
Production said to increase over the next few weeks to meet Christmas demand, with factory tours due to start early next year. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Police investigating a knife-point theft of a four-wheel drive in Oamaru are asking for the public's help to locate a woman, but warn she shouldn't be approached. Police say Ariana Allen may be able to help them with inquiries into the aggravated robbery, which took place on Monday. Allen should not be approached and any sightings reported to police immediately. A pair of overalls could have contributed to the helicopter triple fatality in Wanaka last month. Investigators remain tight-lipped about the October crash, which killed pilot Nick Wallace, along with Dock Rangers Paul Honderlink and Scott Theobald. But the New Zealand Herald understands they are following strong leads over a possible contributing cause. It's believed the occupants of a trailing helicopter on the same tar coal operation saw clothing being sucked out of the machine and wrapping around the tail rotor. The debris then caused the machine to become unbalanced in flight. The tail section broke away before the aircraft crashed into an open paddock near the Clutha River and burst into flames. Investigators are refusing to comment. But Nick Wallace's older brother, Jonathan, says the family's confident they'll find out what happened. The wreckage and debris were removed from the crash site within days and taken to Wellington for forensic examination. Still to come on the South today, Dunedin surf lifesavers hone their skills in preparation for summer at the beach, and a Christchurch cricketer's sporting dreams become reality at the age of 61 years old.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
It's always really satisfying when a customer comes back after doing a purchase of outdoor furniture and knowing that we've got it done right.
Risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life. Petrol prices getting you down? Keep the smile on your dial with an e-bike grin from Electrify NZ on Cumberland Street. For an average $2,000 savings per year, why wouldn't you? Book a test ride today.
It's that time of year. It's time to get into the garden and it's time to get your weed eater. Down here at the Power Garden Department at Andersons Bay Road, this year it's all about the cordless weed eater. Come down and see us at Mighty 10 Mega and we'll help you get it done right.
Spring is here and it's time to get in the garden. Ready Lawn will take care of your lawn needs, making lawn care a snap. They will install the perfect lawn while you plant your favourite flowers and vegetables. Call Ready Lawn today so you can enjoy the coming season.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
At Green Island Medical Centre, we are committed in caring for our future and present generations. We know as a young person, coming to the doctors can be quite daunting. Our highly skilled doctors and nurses will make your experience one where you will leave with a smile. Your health is very important to us.
Get on down to Alex Campbell Menswear for the November shirt sale. That's buy one shirt, get one free. You heard right. Buy one shirt, get one free to the same or lesser value. That's the November shirt sale only on at
Alex Campbell Menswear. It fits.
Welcome back. Police are seeking 2 young men in a dark-coloured car after Waikaiti Dairy was burgled early yesterday. The men caught on video smashed the front door around 1:30 in the morning, taking cash and goods from the Waikaiti Food Centre. Police say it was a smash-and-grab type incident and was carried out by 2 offenders, both believed to be male. The store manager says it's the first time the shop has been burgled and came as a shock. But he says he has the community rallied around and has been very supportive. Dunedin surf lifesavers have been honing their skills ahead of summer at the beach. The Refresher Day has been held at Warrington in preparation for beach patrols starting this weekend.
Getting ready for another summer on the beach. The Warrington Surf Lifesaving Club holding a refresher day to update their water rescue skills and first aid qualifications.
Today is the start of the season here for Warrington Surf Lifesaving Club. So we're just running our refresher just to make sure that all of our lifeguards are nice and prepared for the upcoming season. Just making sure we haven't forgotten our CPR skills and run, swim, run, making sure that everyone's nice and ready.
As well as demonstrating basic fitness, the 22 lifeguards got back up to speed with CPR techniques. The beach was unusually busy on the day, with lifesavers having to share the surf with several board competitions.
We also had a competition on this morning for senior surf sport. So that's had things like board and canoe, competitions racing.
The sunny day was one of many the lifeguards and public can look forward to over the summer, with a typically warm El Nino weather pattern forecast for the coming months.
It's been really good to see everyone nice and sharp for the start of the season. It's been an awesome day here as well, so that helps things along.
Surf lifesavers will be on guard at Warrington Beach from this Saturday. Other patrolled beaches across the region will be St Kilda, St Clair, Brighton, Kaka Point and Oreti Beach. In Dunedin for the South Today.
At 61 years young, Christchurch cricketer Andrew Nuttall is off on a sporting trip of a lifetime. He's been selected for the New Zealand team about to go to the Over-50s World Cup. CTV's Gordon Fine-Later caught up with Nuttall and his son as they will put willow on leather.
Age is no barrier for this left-arm spinner. At 61, Andrew Nuttall is easily the oldest player in the New Zealand side, which will travel to Australia this month for the first ever Over-50s Cricket World Cup, where they will play 7 other nations between November 20th and December 5.
Well, I thought, well, that's interesting. I wonder if I can get myself in that team, because I'm a bit older than some of the other guys. But over the years, I've always enjoyed keeping up playing cricket, and a lot of it through the Willows Cricket Club, where we play against First 11, so I haven't played so much club cricket over the last probably, well, nearly 30 years.
One thing he does have on his side is strong cricketing genes. His son Ed is a current Canterbury player with Black Caps aspirations. There might be 36 years separating the two, but they both share the same passion for the game.
We've sort of made a few jokes about him peaking at the wrong age. He's said he's the only man to know to peak in his 60s, but he's never really stopped playing cricket. I think he just enjoys it that much, and when the opportunity came to play at an Over-50s World Cup, I think he grabbed it with both hands, much to Mum's delight.
So, how does provincial cricket compare to Over-50s?
It's a good challenge. It's played differently than what I might have been when playing, cricket back in age 30 or something. But it's still where there's always a will to win, or a keenness to win from everybody.
I think it's a good chance for them to wind back the clock, I think, and relive the glory days. And even, I guess, put themselves up against what you'd say the world's best in that age group from around the other countries, and see what it's all about. And I guess it's a chance for them to play if there's new big bats they will talk about. And so it's finally a good day, I guess, to see if they can walk the walk from all the talk that they've been putting through to the younger generation.
What better way to walk the walk than by rolling the arm over, just like the many countless days spent in the backyard. But 10 years after last bowling to him, can Dad still get Ed out?
We always in the family call it his flicky shot, where he was trying to hit to mid-wicket, and he scored a few runs in that area, but he's also got out a few times hitting in that area, so we might see if we can tempt him. There it is!
As for whether Ed thinks he'll still be bowling at 61...
I certainly won't be bowling pace at 61. I might have to take a leaf out of his book and run off a bit of a shorter run up and bowl some tweakers.
Hey! That's out.
And just like those days in the backyard, this one was finished up by searching for a lost ball.
After the break on the South Today, we find out what's in store with tomorrow's ODT, and we have tomorrow's weather for you, so stay with us.
Active Interior Designer Mornington are the curtain and blind experts. The team can even advise you on outdoor products and will ensure that everything is perfect. For interior design with flair, call Active to book your free in-home consultation or call into the showroom in Mornington.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren, his Garador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Get on down to Alex Campbell Menswear for the November shirt sale. That's buy one shirt, get one free. You heard right. Buy one shirt, get one free to the same or lesser value. That's the November shirt sale only on at
Alex Campbell Menswear. It fits.
Hello, it's Jeremy down here at Mitre 10 Mega in Andersons Bay. We've got 35 different lawnmowers down in our power garden department. We've got ride-on mowers, petrol mowers, battery operated mowers, push mowers. Did you know we've even got a robot, a little robot lawnmower that pops out during the day when you're at work or play. It'll pop out and mow your lawn. So come down and see me, Jeremy, down in the power garden department at Mitre 10 Mega in Andersons Bay Road, where we'll help you get it done right first time.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
At Green Island Medical Centre, we are committed in caring for our future and present generations. We know as a young person, coming to the doctors can be quite daunting. Our highly skilled doctors and nurses will make your experience one where you will leave with a smile. Your health is very important to us.
Petrol prices getting you down? Keep the smile on your dial with an e-bike grin from Electrify NZ on Cumberland Street. For an average $2,000 savings per year, why wouldn't you? Book a test ride today.
I just like it. It's something that you can see the fruits of your own labour. You put it right now, you don't have as much to do at Christmas. If you come see me, Derek, in the garden department, and then we get it done right.
Thanks for staying with us. This month marks 100 years since the guns fell silent on the battlefields of World War I. The signing of the armistice put an end to 4 years of fighting, although the legacy of the war is still being felt today. Tonight we bring you part 2 of our 3-part series, looking at the challenges soldiers faced on returning to New Zealand, told by 3 of Dunedin's most prominent historians.
How could an ordinary guy explain to people living in a basically decent, fairly normal sort of society what they've been through? I mean, they've been to hell and back again and beyond.
You know, it wasn't understood at the time. Post-traumatic stress syndrome, you know,
absolutely pervasive among NZEF veterans, but how much was it understood? Very little.
Oh, no question. No question of it. New Zealand had no experience like this before. There'd been the Boer War, of course, and the New Zealanders killed in the Boer War stayed in South Africa, but they were relatively few compared with the numbers of the First World War.
And so many of those men died young or enacted domestic violence on their families or psychological violence on themselves. You know, they carried that burden with them throughout their long lives sometimes, their relatively short lives for others, and there really was very little in place to support them in those difficulties.
The main thrust of it was to put guys on farms, and about 9,000 of them are put onto farms. By the middle of the 20s, 3,000 of them have failed already. It was doomed to failure because a lot of them went very well, or they were, even if they looked okay, they were still struggling with what they used to call shell shock, what we would call post-traumatic stress. And they were in remote places, and the land quality was very poor. Many of the sections were too small, or prone to flooding, or prone to drought. All those things in combination made it very difficult. And many of them were just city boys and never a clue how to farm anyway, and they weren't given much help.
And neighbourhoods in those days were much more familiar with people because they walked across the streets. And you walked to work and you went past every house and you knew people in every house. Not like today when we're in cars and we're moving about. And we have those senses of connections in Eden, even in our more atomised society, much more pervasive in the society of World War I. So people were linked with other people in their neighbourhoods and their churches and their lodges and their groups. And yes, every group had been touched by loss profoundly.
Remember, the other real special problem we had was the lack of bodies. So you're going to grieve, you've got to have a body. And this is why there's so many memorials in New Zealand and Australia, because 80+% in each case are buried somewhere overseas. My hunch is that a lot of the difficulties associated with the lack of bodies really starts to bite as these celebrations, in inverted commas, are going on. And that's why we've got over 550 war memorials scattered around the country. They're kind of surrogate community graveyards in a way.
They are surrogate graves, and after the war, immediately after the war in 1923, in fact, the first party of rich New Zealanders went to the battlefields to see the graves of their loved ones. But they're only the people who could afford that, and there weren't many. They just couldn't afford, the average New Zealander couldn't afford to do it. And so that's why people in New Zealand contributed to these war memorials. They weren't built with public funds generally, or certainly not central government funds, some local government funds, but generally it was donation that led to all these memorials being built.
New Zealand, as a society, had never had to deal with such a quantum of trauma amongst such a substantial group of its citizens.
We're phlegmatic and tough, but this was a particularly nasty war.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. To the Pike River families and New Zealand, we are returning the words of Pike River Re-Entry Minister Andrew Little's message this morning. There's sweet news for the largest crowdfunding campaign in New Zealand's history, with the Dunedin Chocolate Factory expanding. And investigators remain tight-lipped about the October crash, which killed pilot Nick Wallace along with dock rangers Paul Honderling and Scott Theobald. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Hayden Meikle.
Hello, Melissa. Nice to be here.
Great, and lovely to have you on the show. So you've got some light information on what's in the ODT tomorrow?
Yeah, we just had a fascinating story meeting, it's fair to say. There's too many good stories, which is always a good problem to have. Lovely wee story out in Mosgiel. Some youths have been hailed by the police for their actions in helping a troubled teenager on the run, so it was very nice to hear teenagers getting praise from the police.
Yeah, I was going to say that's incredibly refreshing for once.
Must be something about Mosgiel, I think. All the finest people are out there. Some controversy in Queenstown, nothing new there. Queenstown always offers up these sorts of stories. A very prominent business has been wrapped over the knuckles by the local council for putting up some obscene signs in their windows, and I'll let your imagination do the rest with that, Melissa.
My mind is ticking over now.
That will be an interesting story, it's fair to say. Bit of Pike River coverage, obviously a massive day for the families of Pike River, and there'll be some reads on that tomorrow. A very thought-provoking editorial on the teacher strike, again very timely, and as a father of a school pupil tomorrow who's having to stay at home, I'll be reading that with interest too, massively topical. And of course some sport. I better mention just a little bit of sport given my background. The Otago Volts cricket team chasing their 4th straight win in the one-day competition, and fingers crossed they get across the line, and our Adrian Ciccone will be telling us how long it's been since that happened. He thinks it's been a very, very long time, so they're having a great little run, which is really great for the cricket community.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and you can catch all of that in tomorrow's paper. Lovely, thank you.
Thanks, Melissa.
And now it's time for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Tonight's southern view is of Taurus and Dunedin's Octagon at lunchtime, while a local waits for lunch. Looking at the situation, a trough of low pressure is approaching, and while the northwesterly airflow ahead of it will bring fine weather and warm temperatures tomorrow, colder southwesterly air following will bring a chilly, rainy day on Friday. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport can expect scattered clouds and a high of 19 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson has clear skies, a stunning day and a 23-degree high. Blenheim is also due to be fine and a stunning day with 25 degrees predicted. And to Canterbury, a cloudy day for Kaikoura. You're expected to reach 21 degrees. Ashburton planned for 22 and a few clouds, while Christchurch you have the treat of a cloud or two and chasing a high of 22. Looking at the southern towns, Catlins, Balclutha, Gore and Lumsden, freshening northwesterlies, cloud increasing with an 18 degrees high for all of you. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes area, expect moderate northwesterlies, some high cloud, looking at highs of 22 for Wanaka, cloud increasing and 20 for Queenstown, 23 for Alexandra and a top of 17 degrees for Te Anau, where it may rain later. Looking at the northern towns, moderate northerlies, some high cloud for this area. Timaru is due for a lovely high of 24 degrees, Oamaru one less on 23, while Twizel and Amarama are both set to reach 22. And in Dunedin, some cloud tonight with an overnight low of 10. Fine tomorrow with skies often cloudy and some sunny periods at times. Light northeasterlies, mild temperatures with a high of 20 and a low of 10. And it's cloudy on Friday with periods of rain developing as moderate colder southerlies arrive, looking at a high of 13 and a low of 9. And in Invercargill, it's mostly fine tonight with an overnight low of 8. Fine and mild tomorrow with moderate northwesterlies. Sunny periods and high cloud, a high of 17 and a low of 9. Cloudy on Friday with periods of rain and colder southwesterlies developing, looking at a high of 13 and a low of 8 degrees. And that wraps up our news for this Wednesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz, channel 39.co.nz, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.